right, what's up? Happy Friday. Sammy's not a fan of the elevator music. I'm tired of seeing the copyright strike on the YouTube whenever we upload it with that. For whatever reason, we get a copyright claim on that music. So, yeah, I just played some copyright free, no DMCA type stuff. We don't publish the video, obviously, since it's for members only. But I'm tired of seeing it pop up on the YouTube, so I just picked something else. Yeah, good afternoon, Albert, Sammy, Daniel, Renee, Tony, Missy. Yeah, Matt could not make it. He was feeling under the weather. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hopefully he feels better soon. So he asked if I could fill in, and obviously I said yes. Yeah, it must be all the missing hair. Must be that new haircut. All right, so let's jump on in. So Monday, everybody thought the world was ending. We're going to zero. Yeah, we're going to have some massive pullback, and lo and behold, we end up finishing the week with a ginormous hammer off the weekly 20. If there was somewhere that you're grabbing puts, it's probably somewhere in here, but I don't think that you're really going to need them. Like maybe we get a little bit of a higher low, and I think we're going higher. So we hadn't had a good 5+% pullback pretty much all year on the SPY. We pulled back 5.55%. We hit the 100, which we hadn't done since last November. I kind of think that was it. Yeah. Maybe we come up here, make a lower high, and do something else. But yeah, it looks similar to over here, right? That's exactly what I was gonna say. It looks similar to this. You're expecting at least the 50? I mean, we got to the 100. The 50 on the weekly. I mean, at some point, but I don't think that's going to happen in the next couple weeks. Yeah, that could be it. We closed super strong on Monday. We retested the close a couple times, and then we went higher. So, and this looks like exhaustion volume capitulation. The other thing too, like the whole Fed, everything else. There's all this money floating around in the economy. Where's the money going to go? Even if the Fed slows down Lambos, even if the Fed slows down the printer, what are you going to do with the money? 40% of the money that's sloshing around out there has been created in the last 2 years. There's nowhere for it to go but into risk assets. So I think all these pullbacks get bought. Even if the Fed starts to taper, and they said they probably are going to taper, but they're not 100% sure. They haven't committed. So yeah, we could go higher. I know it sounds crazy, but we got our pullback. And again, did you buy everything on this dip? Yeah, probably not everything, but you should have bought something. If you didn't buy anything, then again, just go back, look at your plan. It doesn't have buying a 5% dip, and you should probably buy something. And if you look at underlying stocks, a lot have pulled back over 5% from the all-time highs. Here's the Qs. The Qs did not hit the 100. Qs hasn't hit it since May. But again, we bounced right off this horizontal support level. We held the 50, and it looks like we're going higher. So I would be bullish. The Dow, the Dow hit the went through the 100, didn't quite hit the 200, but nice horizontal support right in here on the Dow. Probably need a line on this now. So yeah, I think the Dow looks good. I mean, IWM has been going sideways, made a higher low too. So if the IWM starts to move and break out of this channel, this thing could help without having to just have the SPY and the mega caps lead us higher. And we're almost through September. I know Yates was saying wake him up when September ends. We're getting close. We only have next week. Next week. Plus, this is the other thing. You had the moon phase as well. I mean, look at this moon. That full moon, that harvest moon. So good. Buy on the full moon, sell on the new moon. Yeah, very, very viable dip. Comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, overall market. What do you think? Everyone feels good about it? All right, let's jump into the individual names. And we are starting with a fan favorite, AMHEL, aka AMCEL, aka tax loss harvesting. Talk about harvest moon. I mean, I want to harvest this thing for a tax loss before the end of the year. I don't see anything bullish on this. I'm not coming in shorting it, below $10. Craig bailed today. I get it. Just harvest the tax loss, put the money into something else, and you'll probably get a better return. It looks like it's going lower. I think Jeremy said, hey, it's taking out this 1020 area. Yeah. So, and well, they don't all work out, but you want to hold on to your winners and you want to sell your losers. Because if you only sell your winners and you hold on to your losers, you're stuck with a portfolio full of losers. That's generally not where you want to be. So, AMWL, just probably dump this thing. It's on its way to penny stock land. It looks like $5 and lower. TDOC, same thing. I think you probably just want to dump this. I don't see anything bullish about this. Let's look at the weekly. I don't see why. I mean, unless we can get to earnings. When's the next earnings? Yeah, beginning in November, if TradingView is correct. If we can get to earnings before we hit the 200 on the weekly, but yeah, this thing looks horrible. Healthcare is like rampaging, and this is just slowly making lower highs and barely trying to hold this low. Here's your monthly. It looks like we want to come lower. So I just don't see any reason to own TDOC. It looks like a disaster. Their last earnings was bad. Thought, oh, maybe this is the bottom. Matt thought the same thing too, and he ended up with a shaved head. So I would just sell this thing. I don't see any reason to own this. Sometimes you just got to take the L. Cleveland Cliffs. This one, I think RT3 had a great trade off of this hammer off the 200. I think it was a poor man's covered call. So this one did bounce nicely. Going to be impacted a little bit by the Evergrande situation out of China, just because steel manufacturer, they use steel to build all those empty apartment buildings. So I think this could double bottom out of here, but as long as it holds this hammer, this horizontal support right in around 18 off of this high over here, Cleveland Cliffs looks pretty decent. Yeah, this one, if you're in, I think it looks good. I think you can stay in. You could probably trim a little bit into the 100, into this gap fill, and then just go from there on Cleveland Cliffs. RCL. So I'd rather own cruise lines than airlines, to be honest. I know the cruise lines are loaded up with debt. I get that. But cruise lines don't rely on business travel. Airlines kind of do, and I don't think business travel is coming back. Whereas I think people are ready to go out there and cruise the seven seas and have fun. So yeah, I think I'd rather own cruise ships than airlines. I wouldn't buy this here. The SS COVID. That's a good one. Sailing the seven seas. So yeah, I would buy a retest on this. if you're looking to own like a travel, reopen play, I think one of the cruise lines like RCL is the chat pane's gonna be on fire tonight. I can already tell. So yeah, I think this is definitely a little bit of a dip buy situation. It probably doesn't rampage like that. It probably goes like this, something like that. But yeah, probably buy the dip on the cruise lines. Cook dipped and bounced. I'm still holding out for 18. I felt like I should have got shares on the IPO. So that's what I'm holding out for. So I hope it comes lower, but this could be the low. Here's your weekly candle. So we dip below and then we close back above the IPO low and Cook. The option chain is pretty sucky on this one, so I would just use shares. Longer term play, accumulate, that kind of thing. I don't see anything like phenomenal on it. NRZ, New Residential Investment Corp. I'm not sure what kind of REIT this is. Say over here. Buy now, sell next summer. Yeah, that could be a good play. Residential real estate. The single family homes. Not really sure on this one. But it is into resistance. You have the 100, 200 about to cross. So I think this is dip buyable. I don't think I would buy a breakout on this one. I would need to look into what they actually own a little bit more. I'm not familiar with this one. Does anyone know what type of real estate? If it's commercial property, definitely heck no. It's like apartment buildings, single family homes, stuff like that, sure, but commercial, no way. I'm not exactly sure what they own. Otherwise, I would try to buy it back into like 1030 or so. Why? I just don't think like office space, I think is a complete waste. I don't think you're going to have as many people out and about for things. I think retail's, still going to consolidate as time goes on, especially when it's like no one wants to work. Restaurants, I think, are going to have a really tough time. They can't hire anybody. They're going to either downsize. New restaurants are going to open up as fast casual, so they want smaller places, needing less waiters and all that stuff. So we get those Tesla bots running around. But I don't really know what NRZ is into. GEVO, chemicals. Got a job for a cow company, totally remote. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go back to a job. I used to have to drive and down. And granted, I'm in outside of Boise, but I used to have to drive to downtown Boise when I worked my corporate job. I would never do that again. Imagine if I worked in LA or Phoenix, like when I used to live in Phoenix. Hell no. I would never go back to one of those jobs. So yeah, I don't. People aren't going to be going back to the office full time. In a lot of scenarios, some scenarios they will. A lot of scenarios they won't. Employers are hurting for employees, and I think employees have the upper hand on a lot of stuff. So this thing's in a horrible trend long term. Chemical specialty. I like the volume over here. We took it out a little bit. I'd probably just skip this one. I don't really see anything too nice on this. If you were in this initial pump, great. If you were just like really wanting a trade, I guess you could do something like this. I'd probably stick the stop right there. I'll just go 81 or 71 to make it easy. $1.10. There you go. If you really wanted to trade on this one. Otherwise, I don't really see much on this. Let's go to Best Buy. Weekly, I think I'd probably wait for the weekly 100. This one could be one that you want to watch for a potential Santa Claus rally. If it pulls back a little bit more, 99.30. Yeah, into here. Yeah, I'd look for Best Buy to pull back a little bit more. Thought about a put sale. Yeah, you could look at a put sale. I would do it down at this gap fill. Let me just see out of curiosity what's there. Best Buy, October. There's nothing at the gap fill. I mean, you could get $1 for 100. If it came a little bit lower and you could get 1% for like 95, I might do that. Unless you want to sell like November. November 90 gives you 88 cents or so. But that's 2 months. Yeah, the 100, if you do the 100 for October, you can get $1.05 or so right now. And then you could try to see if it bounces. If you get put shares, it bounces for Santa Claus rally into the end of the year, etc. On Best Buy. Does that work, Albert? Or do you have another question on that one? Oh yeah, for a put sale, I'd wait a little bit more. See if you can get a little more premium. Twitter, this one does look good. This did actually fill that gap. I was thinking maybe this was an abandoned baby. But that one did fill this gap right there. So Twitter does look good. This looks like, let's see the weekly. Nice morning star reversal on the weekly. If I wanted to play Twitter, I would probably do 2 entries on Twitter. I do right off of this 100. On a half an hour. That way I could stick my stop all the way down here. That looks okay. And you're kind of playing off of this double bottom, looking for a neckline retest and then a bounce. Yeah, I really like this morning star reversal there. This candle. And then you got this weekly morning star reversal. That actually looks kind of nice. This one, we might be able to make that official. There's a couple others I'm looking at, so we'll see. This one's a maybe. I do have this on the watch list. I'll come back to that one. SOFI was trading into some resistance here. I'd probably move this to right there. Yeah, I like that a little bit better based on this candle, the top of this hammer, the top of that, these lows. That looks a little bit better. So we are into resistance. You do have a bullish engulfing candle, which is kind of cool. You did close back above the long-term moving averages. The baby 200 was born about a week ago or so. I'd want to buy it a little bit lower. Maybe if you did a half an arb there and a half on a breakout, something like that. There was that no position in SOFI. It looks okay. ELS equity life properties. I think this one is single family homes. Manufactured home, recreational vehicle. Is this mobile homes? Interesting. So this one, I mean, if I really wanted this, I would just buy it right there off the 100 and off this prior high. if you really wanted it. I'd probably actually pyramid into this REIT. And that would be where I would start the pyramid. Probably like this. Yeah, probably like that on equity lifestyle properties. I prefer to just invest in actual real estate. You know, if you're capital limited, I know sometimes it's a little bit difficult. And REITs are really easy, liquid, etc. But if I'm going to do real estate, I might as well actually do real estate. But that's where I would start buying ELS. Tesla. So this one today, ooh, looking good today. Look at this candle. Bullish engulfing candle. I mean, we were talking about this in the morning room. I was in it in all my accounts in the swing trade, so I couldn't really play this. But this hammer right here, I think Maloney played that. And oh my goodness, look at that move. Ooh. What a solid move. Goes sideways for like an hour and a half and then it starts rampaging. Yeah, look at that close. So good. I mean, it only hit its head against 760 like 8 times. Kathy kept selling, you know, hundreds of thousands of shares right here. And this was a fib level. This is the 100% extension. From here, this impulse move, retrace. It's 100% extension. Look how good that 1272 lines up. I like 1618 extensions too, so like longer term, that could be a target for you. 1022. But this looks really, really nice. We went ahead and took 10% right into this resistance. We're still in the rest. Now, here's the thing with trades. When you have trades open and there's P&L open, so like let's say I just go in like right here, right? So like I have a P&L of like $700 on this swing trade open. And like where my stop is all the way down here to where's my stop? 717. So like if I look at it and go, hey, there's $700 in P&L open and my stop is at like, I don't know, $500. I actually have about $1,200 at risk. Not you know, your original stop size, because right now I could exit and just get out of it. So right now, and this is based on like $1,000 R split between this and like another account. So I actually have all of this at risk because I could just exit, you know, right now. Like I have to think about the P&L that's already in the account. It's not booked until you close it. So there's no reason to leave this open, I don't think, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this right into here. 744. 743.89. How about that? So, because there's no reason we should really take. I mean, look at this candle. Bullish engulfing, practically a Marabozu. The open and the low, it went like dollar lower and then rampaged. Closed pretty nicely. So yeah, we're going to move that stop up. And then what we're going to do with this target, because we got so close, like actually I have that order floating around like after hours, and I thought maybe it might hit it. It hasn't hit it yet. So what we're going to do is, because it is almost a Marabozu, we're going to scoot this up. We're going to do a little Newsome nudge. What's the low of this candle from over here? 780.10. The high of this candle. So we're going to go 780.28. We're going to Newsome nudge that up. And what I would like to see is a gap up on Monday. Actually, I think it might do like this candle. What did it do last time it did this? So this candle looks an awful lot like this candle, doesn't it? And then we gapped up and then faded. I think that's what could happen on Monday. Gap up into resistance and fade. So I'm going to Newsome nudge this bad boy up into 780.28. And I'm going to make sure that that is live after hours. So like how I would do that is I just come over here, cancel replace, 780.28. I'm going to make sure that's GTC EXT, and I'm going to confirm and send. So that way, if we gap up there Monday before we open, that way I can get filled before the open. And I need to move that stop. So let's go ahead and do that now. 743. Can you do the order on IB? Yeah, on interactive brokers, you just need to check the box that says fill outside of regular trading hours. So it's like outside RTH or something like that is what it says. It's a little check box. Just check it to make sure it says fill outside of RTH, regular trading hours. So that way, if it does gap up, I mean, we actually still have a little bit of time. I don't think it's going to go there after hours, but you never know. There's still a little bit of time left. Be that way Monday morning. If it gaps up, cool. We can exit there. If you're in longer term, I mean, it looks great. You could probably leave your stop down here. The weekly, I mean, look at this weekly candle. It looks phenomenal. Right off the 10. You got a hammer from last week. This is our highest close literally since February. February, this thing closed at 781.30. So it's our highest weekly close in 7 months. Yeah, there you go, Edward. You'll have to watch the recording for AMWL, but yeah, right in time for Tesla. Highest close in 7 months. You dumped it? Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, we just Newsome nudged it a little bit, make sure you got RTH, and then we moved our stop up. Absolutely no reason why we should take this candle out before we hit this target. That just shouldn't happen. Are we adding halfway? I'm not gonna add. If you're in a longer term position, you could probably add back in somewhere over here. But just for this swing trade based off of this hammer, you could do that. All right, so Ron had a 605 put sale. Don't think you're gonna have to worry. No, you can probably close that pretty soon. Terry found some bears to take a picture of, no bulls. Sammy sold in October 800. I mean, are you going to be profitable if you get called away at 800? Yeah, don't worry about it then. The high's still in for Tesla for the year. Tesla's not going to break this high by the end of the year. So don't worry about that. Yeah, if you're going to be profitable, don't worry about it. You can always get back in. Live Nation. Look at this breakout, retest again. So live looks pretty good. I would look to take profit up here into either right before 94 or a little through 94. Someone's asking about shorting this. I don't think I would short it here. Like actively, you could look to, if you trade through this area or up into it, you could look to sell a bear call spread above 100. It's probably how I would do it. Let's see, 100, 105. There's like 10% right now for a 100, 105. So if it trades a little higher, maybe you'll get a little more money, 12 to 15%. But yeah, I don't think I would actively short this one. Go to SQ. This one, man, I set this up last night. Look at this, the low of this, 257.91. My order was at 257.34. What a jerk face the stock was today. Yeah, but if we break that hammer, it's like, do I really want it? I guess I'm gonna have to do this. I have to probably do that. Yeah, it might be an ugly double bottom. Square can throw in a lot of wicks. I really like this hammer off the 100, 200. We should not take that out. I'm just trying to figure out how do I play this and what I was thinking. Ed saying 254.19. Okay. If I miss it, I'll just blame you. 254.19. It's pretty much right at my right at that blue line. Then I would have to move that one down. Then I'd have to do. I like to do this on my swings just so it makes it easier. Like if I'm doing something that ends in 19 and 9, I'll put the stop at something that ends in 9 just so that it's. I had a line there. Why am I not using it? Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of straddling it on both sides. So this one and Twitter look a little similar. I don't think I'd do both, but I'll figure out which one we can make official. It'll probably be Twitter because I feel like Square is just going to go now. Whereas this hasn't retested yet. But I like Square better than Twitter. So, all right, CRM. This thing's a beast. I definitely sold this call a little early. I sold it yesterday. But today I did buy a 265 long put. So I have a collar. I absolutely cannot lose. My average is like 219 on this. And yeah, I have a collar on this bad boy. And it looks like we're going to get called away at 290, which would be an all-time high. So I'm cool with that. And then I'll have to figure out how to get back in. Because I think long-term this thing could come up to 370. Based off of this Fibonacci extension. If you are not in CRM, probably want to start doing some type of limit buys like in here. Maybe like right there. But a lot of us were accumulating this all over here. This is your public participation phase, accumulation phase, public participation again. So yeah, Square looks good. Integration with Slack happened, and yeah, I mean, huge move higher. This last couple days is an insane move for Square. So, or CRM, I would expect a little bit of a retest. And if I can get out of this covered call for any type of gain, I'll probably do that. Because this thing, it looks like it's going higher. Look at this thing on the weekly. That candle on the weekly is just, yeah. Yep, lightsaber status. So CRM looks great. One of my favorite companies long term. I understand Mark Benioff is like selling shares every single day, but he got a lot of these shares for free pretty much. And I mean, who knows what he needs the money for? Buy another boat, create a rocket that looks like an appendage to go to space. I mean, who knows? He's got a lot of money. Ron says, I've been doing the heck out of some credit spreads this week on SPX for 7-day expirations. Was closing them at 50% max profit. They were closing so fast I was able to do 4 of them this week. Yeah, we bounced pretty good, so I could see that. Select quote, anything with a red flag on it. This is on like my red list, which is like, hey, this thing is horrible. So this stock looks terrible. It's been in a horrible trend. The volume on this thing is horrendous. Like, look at this thing intraday. It's gapping all over the place. If you're looking for this short, if that's why it's on this list, I would really like if today was a little bull candle. But if you want to short a breakdown of some sort, probably would just have to do this. I get it. I'd probably use puts just because it could get bought out or something. If it gets bought out for 20, then you lose multiple R's. That kind of sucks. So if you use puts, all you can lose is the put premium. But I don't know how much risk reward if this goes down to 10. And once you start getting to where they're this cheap, like, this makes it a little tough to go short. But I definitely would not be going long on select quote. Daniel's got a $15 put. Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, that's how I would play it. Definitely short. Don't go long on this thing. No reason to go long on select quote when you could just buy like Progressive or Travelers. Like probably Travelers. Yeah, why be in something in a downtrend when you can just buy something in a long-term uptrend? I don't know. That's my thoughts. Palantir, I think this looks phenomenal. Last week's candle was great, and then an inside bullish hammer. That looks very, very good. Looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Inside candle today. I do have multiple covered calls. And I do have some long puts. So I have a collar on this unlosable position. I'm willing to add on this position any pullbacks back into mid 26, 27 and change. Sprinkle some limit buys in here. Add to this. Ronnie did a new money press on PLTR. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, shoot me the details on that one. I'll track it, take a look at it. Palantir looks good. Yeah, I really like this weekly candle. And I mean, I like this little bearish hammer that got taken out by that. Now we have an inside candle. There's quite a few bag holders from over here because of how much volume was going on when like the SPAC growth bubble burst in February. But we're starting to push through a lot of that. So yeah, I think Palantir goes higher. Their CEO's kind of crazy, but are we going to get called away? This 31 might. I don't know about October. Because once this gap fills, you're going to have a lot of people looking to bail on it right here. Because you're going to have a lot of people that are going to look to get their money back right up in here. Quite a few, at least according to Twitter, a lot of bag holders up there in the FinTwit world. But yeah, it looks good, especially if you were accumulating down in this area, or like this earnings was great, you had all this consolidation. Really, really nice. I like that move. So we did take out this volume over here that I thought was the top. And apparently I was wrong. Looks like DATS is going higher. So if you're in this one, looks good. I'm not sure how they got. Let's see. Is there an option chain on this one? There probably is. Nope, no options. Interesting. So no option on DAT chat. So you're gonna have to trail your stops. I wouldn't expect this to go to like $30 or anything, but I guess you never know. But if you're in, it looks good. U looks really nice. Inverted head and shoulders, broke out, retested this level perfectly. Retested this level perfectly on Unity. I think Jerremy exited yesterday. It still looks good. He did exit yesterday. I think he could get a little more out of this, but otherwise there's a retest gap right here that I think could fill. It depends on where you bought this one. If you bought it up here, like you're trying to get your money back. If you bought it down here, you're like, hey, I need to take profits. So I think you could retest. That dip's probably buyable and then look to take it higher. PYCR, great S curve. I like this bullish engulfing candle from yesterday. So if you like PYCR, I would probably look to see if you could get a little limit buy down here. I really want to put my stop there, but that's pretty large. So I think I'd go like that. I guess it depends on how long you want to be in it. If you want to be in it for a long time, you could do that. If you want like more of a bill paying swing trade, something like this probably. Bumble, I don't see anything on this one. Trading into, this is old support, going to be new resistance. Gosh, every time I look over at the other screen, I see this ginormous candle on Tesla. I'm like, dang, that candle's good. Match.com. Wow, retested this open gap perfectly. Yeah, I see this on the screen. I'm like, oh, that looks really good. Um, retested this open gap perfectly, trading into resistance. So this was where you wanted to buy it. And this is probably getting to the point where you want to sell it on match. So yeah, I'd probably have my target around like 165 or so on match.com. Play this little channel. Alt H. Yeah, play this little channel on it. That looks pretty decent. CrowdStrike. This thing was definitely a dip buy. It didn't quite get down to this gap fill, unfortunately. And now we're back above the moving averages. You probably want to play this thing aggressively on like a Momo. Let's see, like a 1 hour. Yeah, you're probably already in. So you probably want to play this a little more aggressively. Realistically, you could probably do this. I don't think I would do this as an official swing trade because I would probably like exit this within a day or two. So you could probably do something like that. 63. Maybe even just look to day trade it on Monday. So everything you're saying to me feels like the bear. Yeah, we survived the great bear market of Monday, September or whatever it was, 20th. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we got the pullback. It didn't have continuation and it ripped higher. So I would just expect that to continue until proven otherwise. So I'd probably like to play this aggressively, but play it bullish for sure. Facebook, I thought, hey, this was gonna gapping down, taking out an inside bull candle. I really like this setup this morning. So I just set up a short under here with a stop up here, and it broke the other way and just rampaged. I guess it should have just been a bracket order, short there or long there. So yeah, Facebook, I don't think is gonna go lower soon. I have a bull put spread down here, 300, 290 for the end of October, but yeah, we probably trade back up into the moving averages, then maybe come in for a double bottom on Facebook. Yeah, this thing just rampaged today. So long is strong on Facebook. It doesn't have to go lower. I mean, it could, but yeah, if you bought the dip on Facebook, generally when they get in any type of quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, legal trouble, like it's a buy. So yeah, it's probably buyable. It pulled back 11%. That's double what the overall market pulled back. So yeah, it's probably by the dip. We held the 100. It didn't look like we were holding the 100 this morning, right? Like both these upper wicks were into the 100, and it looked like we were gapping right below that high wave bull candle, but we didn't break that first 3 minute indecision candle. If it would have broken bearish, this thing would have got crushed, but it didn't, and it closed back above the 100. So bullish on Facebook. Nike, this is another one that we gapped into this open gap right here. We do have quite a bit of volume. I get it. This gap is huge. There were definitely some people trapped. This one bounced okay. Let's see. Extended hour, is it doing anything? No, it's not. I mean, I would love to say, I think Tony sold a credit spread on this one, right? I was looking for premium down here. There just really wasn't any. Like, you'd have to go all the way out to November. So if we take this candle out, like to the upside, I mean, Nike's just going to go higher up into this area. So I think this dip is probably buyable on Nike. I would prefer more to pyramid into this. Or if it can do like 1 or 2 inside days, then maybe look for a swing trade. This gap outside of the Bollinger Bands too. Let's see. Yeah, it did. Okay. So yeah, if it puts in 1 or 2 inside days and you play it bullish back up into the middle band. Yeah. On Nike. Again, it looks like it wants to go lower. I don't think it does. Apps, this is probably a dip buy as well. Apps can put in some pretty big candles, some big wicks, some big gaps. So I would try to buy this low, like off the 200 with stop down in here. But it looks like this is going to be a bouncing area for APPS. Sammy literally has this exact same setup. Nice. Great minds think alike. Yeah, buy it off of this. This is a Lynn special. Uh-oh. They're saying we shouldn't do it. No, I think it looks good. I basically would want to buy it right in front of like this, all of this right here. Edward's gonna do it to prove me wrong. It's either this or Twitter for an official trade, probably. Square, it missed me like so close today. I'll probably just still do it personally, but not make it official. But yeah, apps looks pretty good. I'd like to buy that dip. Caterpillar, I know some people sold some puts on it earlier this week. I think that was a good play. I didn't personally do that, but you probably were able to buy them back today. And I would try to play this as a double bottom if you want to play Caterpillar. We'll see if they get that infrastructure deal passed. I think that's kind of what this is hinging on. Like right now, it just hasn't really happened because, politicians. But if that infrastructure deal gets passed, I think you're going to see Caterpillar bounce. Frog, I have a coaching student that was in Frog, and I'm like, what kind of trend is this in? And he's like, is it going up or down if you go left to right? He said down. I said, okay, it's bearish. So yeah, you don't want this one. So he bailed somewhere over here. It took out, like, I think this was the bouncing chance that it had. It traded into this it traded into this blue line. For those of you watching the recording, I mean, if you don't have the chat, wonder why I'm laughing. Sammy says the $1 limit buy. Craig's gonna sell it to AMWL. Yeah, no clue what this does, and it's probably going lower. It's in a horrible trend. It's done pretty much nothing but go down since the IPO. So, yeah. Why be in this when you can be in something that's trending higher? That's all. That's it. Yeah, JFrog probably gonna go lower. All right. So is it Twitter or is it apps? Let's see. Let me move apps up. I mean, I guess we could do both. How many official? We don't really have that many official swing trades open. We're gonna win on Tesla. It's just a question of how big we're gonna win. Thomas has got Hood open. CLF. I don't know if that filled or not. So let's CLF is not filled. Twitter or apps? I don't like Twitter better. Plus, I already have apps. So yeah, I like Twitter a little bit better. What's the low of this candle? 58. Let's do 41. Yeah, so this is going to be 2 entries. Put this one a little bit lower. Because again, the thing with swing trading is you have as long, like during a day trade, you only have that day. For swing trade, we could wait weeks, you know, for these to fill, that kind of thing, etc. So we have plenty of time. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll do 2 entries. Official swing trade. Twitter. 2 entries. 6501 and 6241. Both for half R with stop at 5841. Okay. There's that one. And then update to Tesla. Newsome nudge the target with GTC EXT in case it gaps up Monday morning and trail stop. Okay, cool. All right, so we got those in. So it's going to be Twitter official. If you like apps, you can take it. I won't make them both official at the same time, but maybe that'll follow up on Monday. And then that's the app ones. If anyone wants this, you can have it in the chat. Those numbers. Let's go ahead and get a Monday list. Delete all these. All right, let's see. What do we want for Monday? Honest Brands, Shop, A Firm. Oh, we're going quick. Roku, Apple, Upwork, Win, RBLX, FedEx, Big C. Is that a ticker? Quadruple U? I guess it is. Interesting. I thought your keyboard was stuck. Tesla, Starbucks, Penn, Logitech, UAA, First Solar. Is there a ticker LOL? Nope. Someone needs to make that one. Lennar. Someone needs to make a meme stock ETF and name it LOL. If anyone wants to raise a few $1,000,000, I'd say go for that. Bros, Uber, MSFT. Okay, that should be a good list. All right, cool. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. And don't forget to love life, live life, and trade it. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.